Welcome on in, everybody, to another episode, another day, another wonderful time here. If you're joining us live for the Common Language Podcast, you are here in just a channel member, and you're talking with us probably, maybe at this time. But if you're not, and you're listening to the VOD, and you want to join us live, you could be a channel member. That's how you do that here, right around anywhere between 9 a.m. to 9:30 a.m. Mountain Standard Time is about when we start every Tuesday morning. But if you just like watching the VOD on your way to work, we've got that going for you every Wednesday as well. So thank you so much. But of course, as always, we should start with our jingle. So,
yeah,
Nathan, I need you to start. And when I'll count us down.
Should I count? Or
you know, count? Actually, you can count. Yeah, I'll go ahead and see if that works. So you count, okay. and then I'll go. Okay.
Yeah, because if I count,
and then you're delayed. That's right.
Yeah.
So you count.
Yeah. Okay.
You're in charge of this now.
All right, you ready?
Yeah.
1, 2, 3.
Common language in the morning.
It was delayed.
I think
that was right.
That was perfect. I think that was in my head, and seeing it here, I think that was about as perfect as we've ever gotten it. We have the science down now, everyone. We have the science down now. Nathan just needs to be in charge of the jingle and not me, and it works. So that's wonderful. I'm happy we're able to get there. So obviously, like I said, welcome on in. Episode. I should start saying the episodes in the beginning, because then it helps me. But like, I just add them into the title all the time. We're in episode 33 of the Common Language Podcast.
I mean, we aren't, but you are.
Yeah, I am. Yeah, you are. Yeah, we're roughly about like 10 episodes in. I'd imagine for you, I think. But yeah, but it's I'm excited. I'm excited to be here chatting. I did the thing earlier today where I woke up at 8 and I was just like, all right, get some content done, go in the thing, and then it was like 8:45 and I was like, I feel like I have something I'm supposed to be doing it later today, and I just can't remember. Wait a minute, and I just like stopped what I was doing. I just finished recording the Rhinar Silver Age A to Z video. And that was.
I have something to show you since you did the Rhinar. I'm trying to get it to line up because I'm
yes, show me.
I posted this on BlueSky, so if you follow me on BlueSky, you see it. And you saw it, a piece of it. So I was doing this for Greg, and I have it in this plastic thing to kind of hold it together.
Oh my god, it looks so good.
So I do really think it's in the plastic right now because it's gluey.
Right. That's so good. I do really think the Give 'Em a Piece of Your Mind is a good one there.
So I'm in the. So here's your spoiler.
It's my spoiler.
It's on the back because it's so fresh on my mind. I decided I was gonna make a second one and throw it up on my Etsy page. So if someone's interested in it, it'll be up there. In real life.
Go get that thing. Those look so good. I don't know that the way the meat axe looks just floating there in that other background. Magical. Literally magical. I don't like I continue every now and again. I will just go back and I'll look at the pictures you posted and I'm just like, wow, dang, that looks so cool. Good. Like, it's so good.
I have several others that I'm working on. So if you have a request into me to do a card for you, I am working on it. I took a break because mentally I needed a break. And so Greg had sent me like, hey, I want Meat Axe, and he was like, I want Rhinar. I was like, well, I'm not putting Rhinar in front of other people. Like, I have a few requests in here. But it's been out here for a couple months. And I actually need to message them probably to be like, hey, I've started this. I haven't forgotten about you.
It's the hardest part about commissions is like you just kind of like get into the groove of it and you're like, oh, wait a minute, I should probably update them and let them know that.
Yeah. But I threw this in front because I'm kind of at a loss for there's a couple of techniques that Keith Lulu had sent me.
Mm-hmm.
If you're not familiar, Keith Lulu is 3D artist, and he is he has his own Discord. I'm in that, and I asked him about like all of his stuff looks really shiny and like the reflections on it are really cool, but it's not like It's not foil. So I was
Right.
like, how do you get that look? Um, Anyway, so he made me a video and put it up on YouTube and TikTok. So if you follow him, it's up there. And so what he was saying is he actually takes. I'm about to get real
Spoil the
technical
whole
with you.
thing. There you go.
Or the whole thing. He takes a piece of leather. He has like a really like a faux leather thing
Uh-huh.
that's kind of poofy. So
Right.
I just went and bought like a sheet of leather off of Amazon, and he takes one of these huge. Let me see if I can. Yeah, right here. He takes this huge ball thing, like this is made for clay, working
Right.
clay,
Yeah.
and he takes this and he flips whatever the layer is upside down, and then rubs this on it, and it gives it like a curved edge, so that way it's always reflecting from any direction. So you kind of like start in the middle and work your way out. And so the axe
Oh.
literally actually the reason why it looks so nice is it actually curves. Like there's actually
Yeah, that's
curves
what I'm
in it
saying.
because
Yeah,
I did
I was
that.
able to see that. I was like, it looked like it was like more protruding effectively in that
Yeah.
scenario. And so,
And it's using this and like I just have like a piece of leather. I fold it over, do it on that because it's soft, and
right.
so it holds that, and so so I wanted to try that technique. The reason why I wanted to try that technique is because I have a riptide that someone commissioned,
Yeah.
and so I was looking at it, I was like, he's got the fat belly, like I need to figure out like that can't be flat. So I was like, I need to try this technique, but I don't want to spend all these hours cutting it and then
My
not
God.
getting it correct.
What an
So
ingenious thing. It's literally just adding another layer of dimension to the card without needing
yes,
to add another physical layer. Like,
yes.
wow.
So that's why I was like, I'm gonna jump this commission ahead
Yeah.
because I need to test this technique, and what
Hmm.
better way than to test it on this card?
Yeah.
Like this is the perfect card to test it on. I do in general want to do weapons. There's been some interest in weapons, and weapons are fast. Like a lot of times the heroes take me like anywhere from 15 to 20 hours
Right.
to make.
Yeah. It's
That is a
far,
lot of
far more.
time.
Right.
There's a lot of time when you are a dad of three, you have a family, and like you a normal job. So like a lot of times they will take me a month or so.
Yeah.
And I've been wanting to find a way to help streamline it, to get more cards out there, more content out there, as well as like just more stuff on my Etsy page.
Hmm.
Anyways, so I'm gonna make a meat axe. I'm gonna put it up on the Etsy page just because I was like, I already know the layers. I really like the layers, the way it looks. So I'm gonna just do the same thing. I actually tweaked it slightly, so I think it might be better than the new one. I'm still gluing it together, so we'll see. But and then I'm gonna do it on the boneyard because I liked the boneyard
It
better
looks so good. It looks
because
so good.
the foiling was like all around the axe and like that cave part of the boneyard, like in that like pops right underneath it.
Ugh.
Anyway,
I
so
mean,
I'm
just
gonna
a
do that.
good, it's just a good background card. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah,
just like for the art alone, like that's a location. That's a whole landscape for you to put on the back of stuff. Like that, even if you put like quite literally, like if you ended up doing Reinar, but in
yep,
that back of like that'd be
yeah.
so cool. So
I've done Reinar. I did a Reinar for one of our Clash Pass runners, just a young Reinar,
right,
and this was early on. So honestly, it is decent. It wasn't great. I could definitely improve on it. But I did the what's the one that's opposite of Nimblism from WTR? The one that's for like two and a
slogism.
plus Slogism. I did
Mm-hmm.
Slogism as the background. Looks so good.
Yeah.
It just
Mm,
and I kept like the trees in the young Rhino. There's like a tree line,
right.
and so like that's the sky. It looks like a perfect. It's a beautiful
Ooh,
sky.
that's so cool.
So if you have foils, keep your foils. If they're like a lot of times I'll be like use like generically looking cool foils because even some like I had a Dorinthia that I used like a Ranger card on from it was a terrible Ranger card from Everfest. It was like there's like a Ranger sitting down here kind of in the corner and it's like a beautiful green wind looking through it. I'll see if I can find
Oh,
it.
long shot.
No, it wasn't a long shot. It was the Aura one that like, the Aura ones were terrible.
Oh,
Um,
a blessing of focus.
yes, blessing of
I
focus. That's
shouldn't
it.
just have all these names in my brain all the time.
I
I
know that
shouldn't
one. No
have.
one plays that either.
No one
So
plays it. It's just because every time I have to organize my bulk, I see the card and I'm like, yeah,
this
my
is true.
200 copies of Blessing of Focus. I see them there.
Yeah. So that is actually a really, really, really fantastic card to use as backgrounds because
Hmm.
most of the heroes will cover that ranger. And
Yeah,
so all you see is the green wind
that
around
beautiful
it.
sky.
So
Oh,
cool.
that's like Tempest or Tempest Aurora. Tempest Aurora. There's a wizard
Yes.
card that does that. That looks
Yes.
exactly like that. It's got like a very beautiful like Aurora
Yes.
Borealis sky, and it just looks like
Tempest
so
Aurora.
cool. It's crazy. Oh God.
I can't believe you know that name. Oh
Yeah,
my god.
but
All
I'm
these
telling
cards
you,
are terrible,
dude,
but you know them.
I don't know what it is. Like, I think I could probably tell you any card from Dynasty, just like bar none. I have so much of it. I have so much Dynasty, and it's like super cool because I wish I had foil Dynasty because then I'd be like rich right now. Like foil contract cards, they're like $3 a piece right now.
Are they?
Yeah, like
I know I have some sitting around.
it's
I've been
crazy.
collecting foils. I need to organize my foils so I can start either
Yeah,
A, making decks out of them, or B, a lot of my foils curl though. So like anytime I go to like sell foils, I always have to like
yeah, you gotta.
set them in a hard case
Yep,
for a day or so, and then they're fine. The magic answer to unbending foils is this:
yep.
you get your plastic case, whatever size, and then what I do is I do two foils back to back. I put them in like a
Mm-hmm.
little penny sleeve, two foils back to back, put them in the hard case, and it flattens them so good,
Yeah.
and you never can tell that they were ever curled. Just
It's
throwing that out
beautiful.
there.
It's beautiful. You don't have to go buy a humidity sleeve or whatever the hell.
Yeah.
Just keep them in a
It-
flat surface for a day and they'll be good.
yeah. Yeah. So I like to do two foils back to back because they bend to each other, and because those cases hold two cards really well, but they hold them very tight.
Yeah.
So they help to press each other out. Anyways, so I digress. Tried out new technique. I think it turned out great.
I think you
I'm
did
gonna
too.
have another Medax. I have ideas. I'm gonna start back on my Riptide that I've been working on, and I think that's gonna be really cool. And I plan on doing more weapons. I'm looking at the Kodachis, and I'm gonna see because Kodachis is probably only like 3 or 4 layers because there's sword and
Right.
scabbard on there. And so the sword is maybe 2 layers, the scabbard's like 1 or 2 just to give some depth. But what I'm going to test on it is I'm going to test etching on the scabbard. There's like the little flow of the blue. So I'm going to try etching that, not on a foil, just on a regular one to
Right.
see like if that creates some cool depth. And then if that works, I'll do something similar where I'll find a cool background and it'll go on there and that'll go on an Etsy page. But I've been wanting to do more weapons in general because I just have the cards lying around. I can't use them for anything.
Well, if you have multiple copies of Decimator Great Axe, I might just commission
I
that
do
from you.
not.
Because
That's not
yeah,
a
because
token.
that is not a token. That is definitely a rare. So that's
The
the
tokens are a little easier because they're just they're there.
right.
So I'm like I can do all of those. The rares, I only have a couple of them. But the nice thing is,
Maybe if you tell me how many cards you need, I'll front you the I'll ship them to your location and you can get
4 or 5.
them done. Okay.
That's what's cool about the great like those ones is I really only need 4 or 5 cards. I think in the meat axe I ended up using about 4,
Mm-hmm.
and then because all of the equipment borders are the same, I just cut up layers of equipment. Like
Mm-hmm.
the box itself I think is going to be about 8 cards thick, but I was like, I'm gonna go use the miter, use that and a couple other cards that like no one's ever gonna use
Right.
those, and use those as like my layers, and then you can get a really nice one. The only thing is, and so then what I'll do is the ones that I actually cut out is then I use those as my. So I like to have it where I have the actual card, and then I get the border. So that border, the actual card sits here, the border goes over it, and then I do a black border around it to give it like a frame,
Right.
make it look like a picture frame.
Mm-hmm.
And so all of those I like to keep the actual card because when I do that black border, all of the like the artist and stuff is all on that. And so I want to have the actual real artist. So I use like the real card
Mm-hmm.
when I do the black border. But when you cut up the cards, it's like, okay, so really I only need 3 of these to be the front, and then everything behind can be whatever.
Exactly. Right.
And so, and then what I do is I keep a lot of times I'll keep those. If it was a weapon, obviously it's a weapon I cut out. I'll keep um, those little chips, the
Right.
screens, because I cut them out because I can use those for layers in the future. So
Good thing
I
to
don't
have.
throw,
Yeah.
I don't throw anything out. I'm like, oh, this is a whole thing. That's
Right.
going
You
in,
just keep that for
in
another
over
deck,
here.
another build. Like that's just important to have. Like I mean, it saves you some time in the long run, right? So
Yeah, like I have a couple Icelanders that have no borders on them, and it's like, oh, Yeah, when I go to make
Right.
Icelander
I'll
again, I
use
have a
this
couple of
later.
these already.
Exactly. This won't be the last Icelander you make, certainly. So, like, that'll be the
That's for
case.
sure.
So,
So
cool.
I know all that 20 minutes on that, but if you ever want ideas on how to do stuff or anything like that, reach out to me. I could send you like the Cthulhu video is really cool and other things like that. There's some discords that I'm involved in, so if that's ever your thing, I would try it. There are a couple other people on Blue Sky that I've seen that do it.
Hmm.
Um, that I really, really love. Let me just make sure I get this person right. If you like 3D cards, you need to go follow this person. Let me see. I just want to make sure I don't butcher their name because I've messaged them back and forth a couple times. They're super cool. K Curious Crafter on Blue Sky.
Oh,
So
there you go.
if you don't
Okay.
follow K Curious Crafter, go follow it. It's K Creates at Blue Sky. They are fantastic. They do a lot of cool things. And they started, I think, maybe a few months ago. It was probably it's probably like 9 or maybe a year or so.
Yeah.
Um, I was looking at the calendar. I was like, okay, I've been doing this since or October 2024.
Right.
Doesn't feel like it.
I know,
It's like
right?
it's
I'd
been a little over a
imagine
year.
that's crazy. I remember it does really it really does feel like yesterday when you like started being like, all right, I want to start
I'm gonna
doing
learn how to
this,
do this.
right? I'm going to start doing this. And now you're just like, I've got the techniques. Look at me like playing with leather and like a clay ball tool and stuff. Like, it's cool. It's cool. It's always good to see, like, I mean,
It's
that's
fun.
the thing, right? The passion of what you like to do. It's also just like a cool, like, thing for making your deck unique. I mean, just like in
Yeah.
general, you know, you don't have to just be like, oh, okay, I just want to buy the cold foil. Like, you could get a cold foil as the border, and then also
Yeah.
like, you know, and then also the actual card, you know, being in the shadow box art. It's just like
Well,
super
one thing
cool.
I've kind of struggled with the fact that like right now I'm charged about $100 a hero. Just one because I'm backed up. So I'm like, if
Right.
someone really wants it, they'll spend $100
They'll
when I
pay for it. Right.
break free a little bit. But with a hero, I spend 15 to 20 hours. That's like $5 an hour, if that.
Right.
So like for me, it's definitely a passion. I'm not overcharging people at all for doing it, but I'm always just like, yeah, but for $100 they could go get the cold foil or something that they really like. But at the end of the day, right? If that's what they want to get, like that's what they're going to get. Those
Right.
you can resell and all that. And so really a shadow box, and I was seeing one of my other shadow box idols that I watch a lot was like the reality of it is these people could get these super fancy cards for super expensive and all that, but when people approach me for shadow boxes, it's because they love that card and they want it different.
Yeah.
And I was like, that is a great approach to not feel like I'm jipping people off, because like for $100 if you got like a young hero, you could get the young Marvel for 25,
Yeah.
for half that price.
Exactly.
But it's for people who, love that hero, want something a little
Yeah.
more unique.
I mean, it's special to them, right? I think that's really what it comes down to. It's something special to them. And that's why I think that it's so important that we have these creators who are able to, you know, make all these cool alt arts or shadow boxes or things like that, because like
All art that people make.
it's something that people truly love, and they're like, I'd rather this be commissioned by somebody and pay somebody to make this very special version of the card than simply go online and talk to Frankie over there who happened to pull this card from their set 2 months ago, and they're selling it because currently the market is telling everybody that that's what it's selling for. Where
Yeah.
instead you could be like, I have a personalized piece. There aren't too many other people who have it like this here. Like it's just something far more special. Personally, I'd much
Yeah.
rather commission something than have it be anything else. I know we have a local here. Believe it or not, she whiteborders everything. And
I
and
love it.
and it's not like, okay, cool, she just buys whiteboarder cards and that's the like she makes sure as much of her
Yeah.
deck is whiteboarder. She quite literally whiteborders the black border cards that have never come in whiteboarder. She has whiteboardered cold foils before. She has whiteboarded a lot, and that's just what she likes. It's the intimidation factor, right? That's something that
Yeah.
she likes to do, and just be like, I'd much rather them pop out like this, She likes to see how they work, and that's just a project for her whenever she's doing this stuff. So
Like, I'm gonna have to do some tradesies with her.
it's pretty
I'll cut you
cool.
up a card if you whiteboard some of my
Yeah,
cards.
and I'm sure she'll do it. Like, she loves doing it. Every single time she keeps threatening me because she built the Decimator Olympia deck for Sage that I have, and she bought a Marvel Olympia, and she keeps sending me a message. She's like, I'm gonna whiteboarder this thing, and I'm like, you better not whiteboarder the Marvel. You can't be doing that. Like, just don't whiteboard the Marvel, please. Keep it as is. The rest of your deck can be whiteboard. I don't care with you. Just don't touch the Marvel, please.
Oh man, I know. With if you get serious about the Olympia list and that's what you want to do, we might have to talk about getting you a 3D Olympia.
I will certainly pay you whatever I need to in order to get some stuff shadowboxed because that stuff is going to be sick. But we'll see what I land on right with Pen when it starts coming out. But to that transition here, because I do kind of at least want to touch a little bit on the topic of what we've got here. Nathan and I can yap for like 5 hours if nobody stops us. So we have to. What I'll do.
We have to stop ourselves.
We have to stop ourselves. Right. Exactly.
Hold on. Before we go into that, though, I do want to see, how was your week in Flesh and Blood?
It was actually awful. So before, essentially what happened is this week Monday I went. Well, I guess that was something we talked about last week. This week I went to another RTN. Didn't expect to go to an RTN, but because most of them are full out here, and I just did not sign up yet. But there was a spot opening for this one. I drove an hour and a half down to Colorado Springs, to go there for that. I brought Huntsman again because I was like, well, I did kind of okay the last time I did it, so I think it won't be too bad. So I went there. I was feeling pretty confident. I made some slight changes to the deck that weren't really like that crazy. But I immediately went 0-3 and went home. And it was like, I think it's probably the most like dooming I've ever felt in Fab. And I know that none of it was my fault. And that's kind of the downfall there. Round one, I got paired into a Valda. Guardians are already really rough for Huntsmen and Assassins in general. I was able to do several things to make the Valda player have to play a much more tighter game. I got rid of their ley line turn 3, which was crazy. They just forgot to tectonic plating, and so I got to get rid of their ley line. And then later on in the game, I've gotten a bunch of really powerful things from their deck. My Hunter Hunted's always hit. Took a little bit of damage here and there, not the end of the world, but I ended up getting fatigued because turns out when you play against a deck that sends 10 damage all the time for several turns in a row, you have to give through 3 cards and then try to crack back with 1. And most of the time they don't care about that because they're getting Seismic Surge tokens, so they don't need those cards to pitch. They can just play them. So I ended up losing that game into damage and fatigue, which was really rough. I hate that for me. But I was like, whatever, I can submarine. Next game, I get paired into an Acilio. I don't want to get too crazy into this game. First and foremost, card game things just happen, right? It happens. It is what it is. I got high rolled like no other, and I genuinely don't know anything I could have done. It is definitely that game was the least agency I feel like I've ever had in a game of Flesh and Blood in my life, because they proceeded to turn 1. I go first. I hit them with a small amount of damage. They block something or whatever. I banish a card. It's something silly, whatever. Their turn is deal 2 points of damage to me, whatever, right? But then proceed to play a Sigil of Brilliance and a Sigil of Lightning. And I go, well, dang. Okay, that sucks. My turn, I attack them. They block with their boots, and they block with their boots and their headpiece. Get the Sigil of Brilliance back, draw a card, and also boots block. So I'm just like, okay, well, surely there's no way they have the combo now already, right? That's crazy. Lo and behold, I draw into my hand at the end of my turn. I'm looking at the Amulet of Echoes in my hand, my one of, that I'm like, this is the card I need to play in order to stop them from comboing me. They then proceed to combo me while I'm looking at the Silver Bullet card in my hand. I proceed. They deal 47 points of damage to me.
Sheesh.
47 points of damage, and I block out 12 of it. So I go from 38 to 3 in
Yep.
one turn, and then they just proceed to send a big arcane spell in their next attack and then kill me. And I have never, ever have felt more like that was just the biggest blowout I've ever had. And that is a win that I would have needed in order for me to even somewhat contention for top 8. So my brain was like, okay, I couldn't have done anything in that game, so it's not that it makes me a bad player, but like, God, it just makes me sad that like that can happen and I can't do anything about it.
Yep.
And then round 3, I get paired into. I was like, fingers crossed, right? Maybe we just play another round. If I win the 3rd round, we'll be good. I play my 3rd round. I get into a paired into a Prism. Prism is not a very good matchup for Huntsman. Yep. And it's a new player, so I'm just like, okay, well, maybe, I don't know, maybe get lucky on a technicality, and the new player is like, they missed something about something, but they learn my hero. They said they're not like crazy comfortable on the aura plan, but they play the aura plan and they loop me, and I can't beat that. And so I'm like, okay, this is not my day. I get paired into 3 of my worst matchups in a row, and I'm like, all right, you know what? I'm gonna go home and work on content. Today's not my day. There's no way I go back from this. The best thing is like if I play my next 3 rounds and I win, I get Road to Nationals experience, but I can't go to the other Road to Nationals in my area because they're full.
Yep.
So it's not like I'm in contention for like, oh, I might get enough XP to get into Nats. So I'm like, no, I'm just gonna go home. So my RTN season's over. But again, it's one of those things. It happens. I mean, it's one of those things. It's a card game. I'm not going to get beat up over a card game. So, but
we so we don't have an RTN here, but some of my buddies went on Saturday to NOLA, New Orleans, for those around here.
The NOLA.
So they went over to NOLA and proceeded to smack the absolute crap out of all the locals there. And it's fun because like us and them have kind of a pseudo rivalry because we go to each other events.
Right.
So it's really fun. But one of our guys ended up winning on Fang.
Ooh, okay.
And so he won it all. And another one of our locals went with Tough Nut, and he got to the top 8 and lost to our player who's Fang, who knew how to play him. But they were telling me, they were like, it was so funny because all weekend, the whole time there, everyone's like, how do we beat Tough Nut?
That's why. I mean, it's so fun. It's so fun to play something off meta because they didn't test for it, and then you pair into them and like, oh yeah, I'm playing Tough Nut, and it's like,
I guess what it was is the Fang guy had to win his match. It was the last round of Swiss, had to play Tough Nut, and they, we're locals, so they know how to play each other. And I guess he did Scab Skins. No, he didn't roll Scab Skins when he should have. He had like a hand that would have absolutely destroyed him if he could have gotten just taken the chance and do it. And so he lost the game there. And then the next round, the top 8, they had to play again against each other, and he did roll Scabs against and got a 1.
That's it. So Scabs giveth and Scabs taketh away. I swear.
So then Fang went and proceeded. But love my local, super nice. He picked the New Horizon playmat, and we traded for it. So now I have a New Horizons.
There you go. We had a local make a jab at the fact that New Horizons playmat should have had a second Arsenal zone.
He showed it to me. He showed it like on screen. He's like, "Oh, I won and I got this." And Nate, do you want it? And I saw it and I was like, "Where's the second Arsenal?
Where's the Arsenal
the first thing I said."
It's crazy. It should have. It should have had it. It should have had it.
Only one.
No, I think.
But we did. So I'm just gonna give this real quick. So we just did 4-person draft of Uprising yesterday. We really love Uprising, and there's still a handful of just like loose packs. So someone pulled the Crown.
Nice.
Not the Crown of Providence. The Ice Helmet.
Cornet Peak.
What am I forgetting? Yeah, Cornet Peak. So someone pulled the Cornet Peak, and then I went Dromai, proceeded to win all 3. And one of the things that we put on the line was we put a Black Friday pack on the line. So whoever won got a Black Friday pack. I got it and proceeded to open up the Marvel Cricks that I traded for
Nice.
a
Oh,
couple
that's
weeks ago, though.
so
I've traded
good.
for it though a couple weeks though, so now I have two Crixes. So,
There you go.
so like, there we go.
Get a few more cricks. You can make a Marvel Crick
I
shadow box
know,
out of you.
I know. So that was fun. So I was like, thank you for whoever brought in the Black Friday pack and put it
My
up for us.
God.
But that was fun. So
Good.
we had a blast. But
Good,
that was my
good.
week.
There you go.
Anyway, so
Awesome.
main topic. But I wanted to see if you went to an RTN, and I was like, oh, I
Yes.
wonder if
Yeah,
it's a
I
Huntsman.
did. And I was like, again, like it's one of those things. Playing Arachne Huntsman is a difficult beast because it's still not a deck that's like as good as it possibly could be. And I think there are many different variants of ways you can twist the deck and play it, but overall, I think it's just it's a fun deck to play. I like the way that it plays. I think I'm just trying to figure out whether or not I want to play the full fatigue package or if going more of like an aggressive mid-range style, having that option is better. And so, it kind of all depends on what my opponents want to do. And I feel like anytime I make a small change to the deck, it's like everybody was like, "Oh, cool, okay, that doesn't matter to me because I'm playing a better hero." And I'm like, "Yeah, I know, I know that's how it is." But
So do you? I'm assuming you watch Flesh and Pod.
every now and again, yeah, I catch a podcast. Yeah,
So this past week, someone posted in the listener questions
yeah.
and asked, "Why does playing against Huntsman feel like playing against a DMV villain?"
Honestly, though, it is
I was
insane.
like, that is the best way to ever describe anything I've ever heard.
Yeah, it's like anytime you're like, okay, cool, I think I'm here. Yep, block it. All right, cool. We're gonna go. Like that's the thing though, too, right? Is speaking on like obviously like the concept I'd imagine is like going to time, right? And it being like a longer game-esque kind of deal. Uh Fun fact, if you are playing against another fatigue player, your games are probably over before the aggro matches are, which is crazy because that's really the thing. And I'm staying on my soapbox here for a little bit. Oftentimes, when you are playing against a deck that you are unaware of, you maybe take a little bit of time to like really think about the cards that have been played and like what does this dagger attack mean, so on and so forth. And it usually puts you in the tank sometimes, especially if you're obviously trying to win. Uh, Whenever you're playing against another player who also knows about your deck and also plays fatigue, the games are done in like 30, 35 minutes, roughly, maybe 40, right?
Because you
But
both are fast playing because you don't want to slow down.
exactly,
And two, like you're like, all right, we both got to just take cards from each other and see
exactly, and where like if you're unfamiliar with the deck and also you don't like you just like don't know how to play into fatigue. Some people will angle shoot and just take like another like 2 minutes on their turn when you're sending a dagger at them to be like, "Oh, is this dagger really like important to you hitting me?" Like so on and so forth. When it really isn't. Like it really doesn't do anything. And so I think it is oftentimes that's the roughest part about playing fatigue. It's not so much that decks like playing fatigue is like bad, because if you're a good player who knows how to play into fatigue, you won't go to time. But if you are a player who's unfamiliar with things, or you're just trying to angle shoot because you don't like playing into fatigue, maybe you're an aggro player and you don't like playing into fatigue, that's the real like enemy of a fatigue player is your opponent. Your opponent, because like most fatigue players will know what they're doing. It's blocking 9, keeping a card, arsenaling it pass. That's what they're doing all the time. Whereas your opponent is like, okay, I don't know if I need to block. Like, does this really matter? Like, blah, blah, blah. Like, oh, why did he keep that card on top? What was the reason for bottoming this? Is he trying to get to something different? Blah, blah. It's one of those things. But I digress. I'm not about to go into that whole thing. I just think that I didn't go to time once during the RTN. And that's because I was playing against Colorado locals who know how to do this shit. But if I were to go to like we have a RTN that's happening in Wyoming. It's another RTN that like our Colorado locals like to go up there and spike effectively because we're just insane. We're insane here. But that was like the only time I'd gone to time 4 times at a PQ was when that happened, and it was just because I was going against people from Wyoming who don't know who I am and apparently don't know how to play into fatigue. So I just end up sitting here going, okay, cool. I can look at you.
Slow play.
And it's the thing, like this. I don't even like keep my eye on the time every single second. So like by the time I'm considering calling slow play, they play a card, and I'm like, okay, well I can't call slow play now. Like blah blah blah. But I look at it.
Do you use like a counter system, like Fab Counter or something?
Yeah, I have. I have Fab Life. There's not a timer on there though.
Yeah.
So
Fab Counter has a timer on it.
So, and that's probably something I'll end up. But you're also technically not supposed to use those when you're going to.
Yeah, you're allowed to. So like you have to write it down.
Right.
Depending on, you just check with the judge. Most judges don't care if you use them. They do require you to say like, hey, you need to have like something that you write down to.
Exactly. So, but yeah,
I work better with Fab Counter.
I think it's fine. I mean, like really at the end of the day, it was just like, I think really it's having the discussion, the mental discussion with your opponent as you go to time. Your opponent looks at the 5 cards left in their deck, and you look at the 15 cards left in your deck, and you see the life totals are nowhere near the like where they should be, and you just have to look at them dead in the eye and be like, do you truly think that you could win if we were given unlimited turns at this moment? Do you truly think that you could beat me right now? And you can't say any of that. You just have to look at them in the eye and go, what do you want to do? Because you can't have that discussion. You can't tell them that they should concede. You can't do all this. Like, it's just like, that's up to the player. If they want to play it out, they play it out. We both lose. If they don't play it out and they concede, you win and they lose. So it's like, we're both losing.
Sometimes it's worth losing over taking the tie, but that's another conversation.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. So that's my whole thing. But anyway, that's enough about me complaining about people who don't know play fatigue.
So I know our main topic is you Dice Commando put out a really good topic that I think you wanted to cover as well. So I haven't watched the video yet, so why don't you walk me through kind of your high-level note?
So effectively, shout out to Andrew over at Dice Commando, friend of the channel, just made a video recently talking about a comment that he had received on one of his Lexi videos for Sage. Kind of talking about how...
Which was not me, I will say.
Yeah,
I actually praised him in his Sage video.
I definitely think it was a very interesting thing, because this individual in an odd way kind of posted about how, you know, they're excited. He made a Sage video talking about Shiver Lexi for Dominate and so on and so forth, which I've also done the same thing, right?
Yeah.
But the video
he was talking about specifically Shiver Lexi with Lightning build, which was always interesting.
Yep. And so it ended up being something in which, like, this person commented and they were like, well, you know, why would you make a whole deck, essentially? Not their words. You can go watch the whole video. I'm like paraphrasing. But the person effectively let a comment saying, like, I always appreciate the builds, always see like seeing what you like effectively, but why would you decide to choose to play Lexi over Azalea if you're trying to go with the Dominate route, right? Like, why would you choose to do that instead of playing you know, the better Dominate hero, quote unquote, right? The better Dominate hero. The hero that can more consistently get that Dominate without having to pay the resource to do the whole thing, and so on and so forth. And that was pretty much the whole concept, right? And what Andrew had talked about in his video was more so that there is that current issue that a lot of people are going to be running into when they're getting into Sage. Mm-hmm. Which, and we've had the discussion here too, in regards to the Briar Aurora scenario, right? In which, why would you play Aurora when you could play Briar, who statistically has, 1, a bigger card pool, and 2, just more, like, the hero power just tends to work a bit better in that scenario. So the concept of this topic really is talking about why you would do something like that, but also the fact that it's not, when I look at Sage, right, I do think that there is a very casual aspect to it still, right? That if there's a hero that you vibe with and you like the play style of, it should not matter that there's a quote unquote statistically better version of the hero, right? If you love Aurora, you should
Play
not
Aurora.
be told by other people, don't play Aurora. Aurora bad. Don't play Aurora. Play Briar instead because it's the same hero, but like you get an extra pool of Earth cards. At the end of the day, what I kind of wanted to talk about here is that that is something that I hope is erased over the course of Silver Age, because it's not so much that you can't play these heroes, because you can play them, right? Will there be again, statistically better is what I'm calling it, statistically better heroes that play
Yeah.
those lines a little bit more efficiently than others? Sure. But the beauty of a 20 health format is that your 4 cards that you see could just be better than your opponents, and you could just kill them. Like, it doesn't matter that they're at 20 health or less. So the odds are is that you probably have the ability to make something like this happen regardless of the hero you're playing. It doesn't matter if you're playing Briar or you're playing Aurora. If you're sending 16 points of damage a turn in both heroes, you're still going to probably get there. So it's nice that we have such a variety, and with made like a pseudo video that I wanted to post, and I just figured it'd probably be a better topic for this anyway. In regards to, like, there are 58 heroes in the format right now. There will be less as time goes on because heroes will get banned and banned again and banned again and whatever. But right now, there are 58 heroes in the format. Are some heroes better than others? Sure, statistically. But it's not that you shouldn't play these other heroes, right? If you like Lexi, you should play Lexi. If you like Fang, play Fang. If you like Betsy, play Betsy, right?
I think too, like someone making the argument is kind of like, well, why would you play Briar when there's Chain? They're
Right.
both Rune Blades,
Uh-huh.
but they do it very, very differently.
Exactly.
And so, like, for instance, let's take Lexi. I'm very pro Lexi. We've had
Mm-hmm.
like 2 weeks of
Yep.
conversations on this. I like Lexi. The build I do is kind of like a duality build, but like ultimately at the end of the day, probably about 50% of my cards, if not more, are the same cards that I have in Briar and
Mm-hmm.
Briar's build. So then it becomes, okay, why would you play Lexi over Briar? Briar has a better win rate. I just enjoy Lexi more right now.
Yeah.
Is really what it comes down to. Also, I have ice cards that I enjoy more that
Right.
I want to do in there.
Mm-hmm.
Like, so there's a mixture of that. And so, one of the things that I've said is Briar is better than Aurora right now. If you love Aurora, play Aurora, kind of what he said. But one of
Right.
the things I do like about kind of the duality of this is the fact of this. Briar, if she becomes oppressive, is going to get banned.
Right.
I don't think she's at that point right now. I kind of expect Chain to get banned first, but we'll see with the Pen season. But what happens when Briar gets banned? We have Aurora. We
Uh-huh.
have these other heroes that replace them. And so, we look at all this and go like, well, why would you play this over this? Sometimes I like the fact that there are duplicates
Yeah.
because if one of them it gets banned and realistically, we're talking about 3 heroes a season. I think come in a year, we'll probably have like 5 or 6 or 7 heroes banned all at once.
Right.
And it's probably going to be one of those in there. And so having that duplicity, so to speak, is why you do that. So like Azalea, if she becomes more impressive, those Azalea players can now move over into a dominating um, Lexi if they wanted to.
Right.
So like it is good that it has there. And also like I'm talking Lexi Azalea, they do very different things. Their pool
Mm-hmm.
is so different. What they're trying to do in there is completely different, and it's less about that. But anyways, I digress. I actually really liked his Shiver video just because I do think Death Dealer is a better weapon in Lexi,
Mm-hmm.
but I do like to see people trying out stuff and coming up with a different way.
Yeah.
And I have seen Shiver used effectively. I mean, you did like an ice one.
Yep.
I did a couple of testing with Shiver. I don't like as much, but Shiver is one of those weapons that I really, really, really want to be good.
Yeah.
So I'll always keep experimenting with it. Like realistically, I'm like I'll always keep experimenting with it. Maybe we need to go more style of like maybe some bolt and shot type style with her. I don't
Right.
know. because you do get the +1 or the dominate, so you can give yourself that +1
Right.
weapon and
And
be
that's
able to
something that did a lot for
really
her
good.
in Classic Constructed when she was legal was,
Mhm.
the +1 on a bolt and shot to then be able to load it again, right? So
Yeah.
in that scenario, very well could just be the thing that you're doing in those ways. You get to
Yep.
get the +1 on there without needing to worry about paying into a card. I've seen Red Spine Manta Lexi. Like
Mhm.
there are things that you can certainly do with the deck, and I think it is very very powerful, but again, like to that point, right, is that there's still so much undiscovered potential in the entirety of the Silver Age
Yeah.
format, and there's a solved thing of you know block a lot or deal a lot of damage. Those are your two things, right? You block 12 every single turn, send hammer, or you send 16 to 18 points of damage a turn, and then hope your opponent can't kill you
Yep.
faster. Like that's
Well,
the meta right now.
yes, and to your point, like every deck is viable. I was on Lexi. I've been testing out Lexi, playing her a lot. Like I said, I'm really deep diving into this deck. So I was playing her, and I went against a Arachne SC,
Mhm.
solitary confinement, and traditionally that matchup, the very me favored.
Yep.
They proceeded to absolutely decimate me with their deck. I actually went and rebuilt their deck because I was like,
Yeah.
oh, let me see what it is. Rebuilt it. I don't think that maybe I just don't see the lines.
Uh-huh.
And this is just a really good. It's probably just a really good assassin player. That's like, hey, let me translate this to
Right.
because I just am not a good assassin player. I always like to try it, but I'm just not a good assassin player. Um, but yeah, like they had an absolute crazy turn that absolutely decimated me, and I couldn't really do much about it. Um, and they Black Widowed me in like turn 2 or whatever, which prevented me from killing them that turn.
Right.
That Black Widow.
Mhm.
Um, so like there's stuff like that going around where like you look at this. Number one, we talked about card draw of sometimes you just get unlucky
Yep.
and they get lucky.
Yep.
And I think that game was a little bit of that. But two, if you know your deck really well, like the reason why I've really tried to deep dive into Lexi a lot is because I feel like with that deck, um, I kind of know because I've been playing it a lot, I know the limits of it and I know what hands I'm looking for. Whereas
Right.
if I pick up that solitary confinement deck that person proceeded to destroy me with, I don't know what lines I'm looking for.
Mhm.
I don't know when it's good to block, when not. Like with the Lexi deck, I can look at my hand and go like, okay, I might block with this one card.
Right.
Like most of the time, it's like, all right, I don't block, but hey, I might block with this one card, keep my life up so that I could turn back around. And depending on what I draw, it kind of doesn't matter.
Right.
Or most of the time, what I draw, I kind I know what I'm looking for in that situation of what I'm going to draw, and so I have usually two different. When I go into a turn, if I blocked with a card, I usually have two different plans of like, okay, if I draw this, then I'm going to arsenal this, or if I draw this, then I can use like I'm setting up my turn where the draw's not going to screw me up. I only know how to do that because I've played with this hero
Right.
so much.
Yeah.
And I played with this deck. I've been tweaking it and tweaking it. And so I played with this deck a lot. And so I finally have it to a point where it's like, it's still not perfect. I do think that there's still some cards that I'm still kind of struggling with. And like, do I need this? Do I not?
Mhm.
But it's really helped me here. And I don't know that I'm ever for any deck builders out there, you kind of never leave that.
Yeah.
You sort of always like have this, like, okay, this is what I want. Um, but to your point, like at this point in stage, we see this all the time. We talked about player bringing Fang. My buddy's bringing
Yep.
Fang and Tough Nut to a RTN. RTN, not that it's super competitive, but like right now, those Sage events are about that level, if not
Mhm.
less. And so, why wouldn't you bring what you love? I mean, I still have that Briar built that's a dual Earth Lightning.
Right.
And quite frankly, it is not that great compared to the new Briar build. I just love that build. So I'll probably keep it together and see what I can do with it. I just love the build.
Yeah. I think that's what it's about too, like as much as it's like, okay, cool. Obviously, there are going to be more competitively viable versions of decks. But that's not to, it's like you kind of take a look at the chapter decks, right? All the chapter decks apparently out the gate are supposed to be hyper competitive and you can win a calling with them, right? Now,
Yep.
when they say that, Does that mean that they're going to be able to win a calling because of the cards specifically in that deck, and statistically they have the better pool, so therefore they're going to be the best versions? You know, it's like, you can tell me that Icelander is still going to be pretty good because obviously she's going to get a bunch of cool stuff, but you also still can't tell me that Kano is not going to also be able to do just the same, because Icelander got a precon and Kano did not, right? Like, the options are still there for you, and there will be things that were printed in pen that will go in probably any deck, and even if they don't, you know how to play the deck then with the cards that you already have access to. So you know what to play around, you know to look for the new cards and what they're going to be presenting. So I do think that at the end of the day, if there's a deck that you're like a specialist on, right? Not even a specialist really, but like a deck that you know the lines well enough to where you're like, okay, I know what I'm doing with this. I know where I'm sending this. Like, this card I actually want for later, or this card I want to put in Arsenal because I don't want to use it now. I want to use it later to be able to, you know, swing back a huge turn. Those are the decision points you make that actually allow you to win games, as opposed to the cards specifically in your deck being, you know, some of the best, right? So I think to the point of the video, and something that like is just the main topic here for this, is that play what you want, play what you have fun with, right? Because at the end of the day, unless you are trying to like hardcore grind into a meta, which there is one right now, but like there might not be one.
It's not gonna hold.
Right, it's not gonna hold. Things will be different, and overall, I just think it's going to be, right now there's no reason for you to not play what you love, because everything's available, right? The issue becomes like, okay, I want to play what I love, and I love Chain, and when Chain gets banned, which we know will probably happen, then it's like, okay, well, what do you play? And it's like, well, there are certainly other things for you to play that are available. I think those are the people who are going to be hurt like the most, is when their favorite hero gets voted out. But, you know, we'll be dealing with new demons coming through several sets in the future that might be different. And that might be enough to be like, okay, maybe we don't vote Chain out this season. Maybe instead we just vote out this hero because it's way more oppressive, and I don't want to play into this hero anymore. So I'd rather just play Chain, because Chain's at least somewhat doable based on the card pool that we have access to now. So there's, the future is very bright for this format, and I don't think that we should be going around telling people that they should not play a card or a hero because there's a statistically better version of the hero. Instead, we should just say, play what you love, right? Enjoy the decks that you want to play. And if you feel like it's no longer what you want to play anymore, switching decks is super easy. So that's
but I do think, like, I didn't read the comments, so I don't know if that person, you know, said it rudely or not. I do think it is a legitimate question, though, that I think people will probably have that want to be competitive, of like, why play this version over this? You know, like I've once again said multiple times, why play Aurora when there's Briar?
Right.
And I think, you know, at the end of the day, like, I feel like there's not, like, when we look at Aurora versus Briar, let's take that as an example. I feel like there's not enough. One of the reasons you do play Aurora over Briar is because Briar is really reliant on non-attack actions, whereas Aurora isn't, or traditionally hasn't been.
Right.
And it's like there's just not enough of those in our pool yet to build that she should be building in order to be effective, right? So you look at that kind of the card pool and traditionally what that looks at, and so those are questions that I think people have to ask themselves.
Yeah,
but I don't know that is necessary. And maybe that person was legitimately like, why would I do this?
It was just a question, more specifically. Like they certainly were not like, you're a dumb idiot for trying to make a Lexi video when Azalea is right there, like doing the same thing. It was not a means of malice or anything. I think it was just genuinely somebody. I mean, you know, I see the same thing. You know, if you're looking to play Brute, why would you play Rhinar when KO just has the better numbers overall to send a bunch of damage? And it's like, well, this all depends, right? If you are a KO player and you get paired into a Guardian, it's going to be kind of rough for you because they can block out a lot of your stuff. They have some of the best defense reactions in the game of Staunch Response. and they get to fatigue you because you're already discarding cards from your deck. Eventually, you will draw into things that do not allow you to go that wide because you have a very limited card pool for 40 cards. And once you're out of those power cards, it's just send hammer for 4 for the rest of the game until you die. Whereas Rhinar, on the other hand, Rhinar just says, I'm going to intimidate 3 cards out of your hand. You can block with one of them, maybe if I let you, and then send 16, like maybe like 14, 13 points of damage at them that they can't really block. And that then allows them to bypass this blocking, hyper block fatigue style to just get the damage over. But on the flip side, if Rhinar is going to be playing into an aggro deck and they intimidate all of those cards out of the hand, your opponent just says no blocks. They take 13 on the chin and then send back 18 to 20. And that's the aggro deck, right? So there's always going to be this different, whatever your play style is, right? If you like going 3 to 4 chain links wide, play a deck that does that. If you like going really tall with one big attack, play a deck that does that. If you enjoy the intimidate triggers, if you enjoy disruption from ice, if you enjoy disruption from being an assassin, if that's what you like, play those things because that is going to be the style you're going to want to adopt. And with these heroes not really going anywhere, more specifically that they're continuing to broaden their horizons of like new things that we're going to be getting in Pen and in other future sets, even like the draft sets. We're going to see changes happen to these classes as time goes on, and you're going to be familiar with them, right? You're going to be playing the game play style that you like. That's why I like Decimator Olympia, is because not only do I have a great defense, but I also have a really good offense by removing the blocking potential of my opponent with my weapon. So there's a bunch of different things to do, right? It's a very, very interesting thing. And it's not a deck that's like, I'm not going to auto win into everything I play into.
No, you don't. Because usually when I go against Decimator, I'm like, cool, he threw 4 at me. Awesome.
Yeah.
Here's 16.
Exactly.
Like some ice on the back end.
Yep, exactly. I'll go ahead and I'll hit you with 2. I'll rip 2 cards from your hand. I'll give you an ice, a frostbite. And then what? You're going to pitch your 2 cards in your hand to send 4. Cool. I'll do this again until you die. Like, it's very real thing.
I actually really love that. That's actually a really fun matchup for me. Not because I don't think I'm necessarily favored, because there are times where I just fall flat and like Olympia just, here's all my blocking. God damn it, I couldn't push through. But those are the fun matchups to me. I actually really like the meta decks, and like chain. I always joke around like, one of us is dying on turn 2.
And
it is exactly like one of us, because I have ripped the Chain's whole hands out, and they've banished 2 cards, and they have a frostbite, so they can't even do anything. Like, it's fun. But there's times where I don't hit the ice, and they go, here's 20 damage in a turn. Like, God damn it.
And that's what I mean. Like, that's really the thing. This whole format being at 20 life. Like, it'd be different if it was 40 life, because then it's like, okay, you have to go through several more hands in order for you to eventually kill your opponent. But here it's like, if you just draw into a hand that represents 3/4 of your opponent's life total, just don't block. And then it's like, okay, cool, I'll send that at you. Do you have a crackback turn? Are you not going to block and try to kill me? It all depends on the deck. So there's so many different styles and ways. So I think like it doesn't matter what hero you're playing. You're able to still send a valuable amount of damage or block out a decent amount of that damage in order for you to live another turn, pick them down a little bit, and then eventually get yourself to where you need to be. And I think that any hero can do that.
And I think specialists too. Like Azuri, I think, is probably one of the worst heroes in the game right now in Sage. I have absolutely been demolished by Azuri before. They knew what the heck they were doing. They knew their deck really well. I was like, they're obviously an Azuri CC player. Like, you could just tell. And so there's definitely, I would say there's definitely skill floors, obviously, to this. I think really good CC players, if they're good at the game, will translate well, because most of the time, good CC players, they're used to playing limited at these, pro tours and stuff like that. So they're used to being able to have to play 20 health formats.
Right.
As a terrible CC player myself, I prefer the young health. I didn't used to, but then I played so much Clash. But like
Right.
that is one of the things you get used to, and I love playing limited now. It's kind of the primary format I play is drafting, and you get used to kind of blocking more and things like that. So I do think there's definitely Sage, while it is very much the do I have the nuts or not type of idea, there's still a lot of skill in there. So like last night
Mm-hmm.
I did Lexi versus Ira. My buddy had Ira and I was like, I want to play my Lexi deck against your Ira. I went first. I chose to go first. I thought I could maybe get some damage, so I got like 2 damage through. He came back, cracked back, did 12 damage to me. I then cracked back at him, did 21 damage to him.
Mm-hmm.
He blocked his Ira, so he's got a couple stuff in there. I went 6 wide, like I went super wide.
Right.
And then he proceeded to life of the party me in the next turn, and I couldn't come back from that because I had to block with too much, all of that. So my point is like there's little things in there that like, hey, if I had chosen to go second because I had
Mm-hmm.
the choice, I probably would have won that because then I would have had 2 full big turns of
Right.
probably 20 damage, etc. Like how does that play out? So I think there's a lot of there, but for me, like my whole thing that I'm always going for is I want to sneak in a couple damage and try to end on an ice, give you some frostbites, and get my arsenal up and running so that when it does become my turn to crack back, I can crack back really hard.
Exactly.
But it didn't work in this instance. And so I do think, number one, in Sage, it really comes down to what cards you're going to see in the first 3 turns.
Yep.
If you're playing Fatigue, it still is that because you have to block out the
Yep.
first 3 turns. Usually, aggro decks, if you can stop them for 3 turns, you're probably going to win.
Yeah, that's how it is with
Definitely.
like Dash, right? Or Mech Knowledge in general. I mean, just like that was my whole thing even back when I was playing Dash and Commoner. Was that was my biggest thing. Is like I'm putting this hyperdriver on the board here. I have 3 turns to kill my opponent. If I do not do that, and I have 3 turns to kill my opponent unless I get a crankshaft off the top of the deck when I boost,
Yeah.
which never happened. But it was anytime I was just like, okay, I'm giving myself 3 turns. If I can try to kill my opponent in 3 turns, or at least get them down to like somewhere sub 5 life, like we're in a pretty okay spot. But if they are able to prevent that from happening, I don't see a bunch of my power cards. I don't have the ability to pivot. It's a done game, right? And I mean that's just how it is, right?
Yep.
Once you run out of your power cards, the things that are going to deal you a lot of damage, sometimes it just goes okay. Like they got the good block cards, I got the good attack cards. We met in the middle, and now I'm drawing my yellows and blues, and they're drawing their blues, but their blues still translate into 4 points of damage every turn. It's gonna
Yep.
eventually eke out that damage, lower that life total down to parity, and then go, okay, you're not gonna have go again. And if you don't have go
Yep.
again, you're gonna lose your turn. I'm gonna get to just do whatever I want, send 10, right?
Yeah.
So
And then, so it's just like I'm saying all this to say, ultimately, that stuff is going to happen no matter what hero you're playing.
exactly,
Whether
exactly.
it's the best hero or just your pet deck or
Mm-hmm.
whatever, like you're going to get some crazy wins off of it. You're going to get some, okay, I just didn't have a chance
Yep.
on it in there. And so you play what you want and what you're comfortable with. Like right now, I'm just loving Lexi. So I tried that Arachne SC deck, and I just don't have the patience for Assassin right now. When we first a
Yeah.
couple months ago, like I was playing nonstop Assassin, like trying
Yep.
out the different assassins. What is it? Where do they lie? How do they fit in there? But it really comes down to, what do you have the patience for? What do you want to play? Because the reality of it is, I tried the chain deck for about a week. It
Mm-hmm.
was enjoyable. I just it was enjoyable. Like,
Mm-hmm.
but I wasn't loving it. And so I finally found a build in Lexi that I loved. And I've been playing that nonstop and it's a ton of fun. Do I win every game? Absolutely not. I think my I think my percentage actually is about 65%. I know I have an over 50% win rate right now, which is not terrible.
Mm-hmm.
But that's according to, Dollar Shar. That's according to my February
Right.
stuff on Dollar Shar. So that puts into perspective. But like ultimately that's what it comes down to. I don't think we need to bash people on it because at the end of the day, every single hero can have power turns, and every single hero, especially in this format, can pull out a win. Like I
Yeah.
truly believe every single hero can pull out a win. like I said, I went against Azuri. I had a really good. I think when I lost to Azuri, I had a really good Briar deck, and Briar, one of the best. Shouldn't
Mm-hmm.
lose to Azuri. Absolutely demolished me. They just forced me into weird blocks and just were able to. They had a really well built deck. They were very experienced in what their deck was trying to do.
Right.
So I do think in Sage, especially, I think specialists are going to thrive more than even in CC. You look at like someone like Eugene C. He plays Rhinar every single event.
Mm-hmm.
Well, and he always does decent, and he always does well. And it's just because Eugene C. He knows the hero. He doesn't go off of him. He plays him a ton. Like there's no way you could give me that deck and I could do anywhere close to
Exactly.
UGC. Like
Exactly.
it's just knowing your deck and your comfort level and what are my power turns, when do I need to block, when do I need to not, that sort of thing. So I think at the end of the day, as long as you're comfortable with your deck, and it's always going to be one that you enjoy the most. If you enjoy winning the most, and that's like your primary thing, and you can kind of pull off chain, like sure,
Right.
be chain. Like there are some people where like I just want to win. Like I don't have a hero, I just want to win.
And
I just
that's,
want to do this.
I mean,
That's totally fair. That's valid. I
then
think for myself, it's more of I want to have a deck that I love playing, and I'm going
yeah,
to play better.
absolutely. I think that's also the thing too with 58 heroes in the format. Sometimes you can play the meta deck and somebody could be playing a direct counter to your meta deck. And if you get paired to them in Gem, it doesn't matter if you're playing Chain, you're gonna get rocked, right? Like, if you're playing Briar and you get paired up into an Icelander and you don't win the die roll,
Hmm.
like you're very much so in a position where it's like, okay, Icelander might not be meta right now. Is not Rooter. I've not seen an Icelander in top 8 of any of the things that we've played. That is
Yep.
any of the events. There's been no Icelanders in the top 8. There's been no Icelanders in like top 16. But if you are playing into a full red line aggro deck, and that's what's been working and gets people to top 8, the second you are given 2 frostbites, you play a 4 power attack, you pass.
Well, I
That's
know
it.
that like for instance the Tokyo, what is it, the Okahama Akabara or whatever.
Yeah.
I guess they had a stage event there, and Oldhim won. There's 4 chains in the top 8.
Mm-hmm.
Oldhim, there's 2 Oldhims. Oldhim won because and realistically, you look at that and you're like, Chain should win that. I don't know like what he had to go through in order to get that. Maybe the Chains lost to other stuff, so he didn't
Right.
actually play Chains. Something feels like he probably beat a chain or two though all day, and uh, probably played several chains and probably beat them all day because he
Right.
came in with a plan. He knew what he wanted to do, etc. And so really like Oldhim is a horrible matchup for most everything. And so Chain that's the reason why I think Chain grew in popularity is because of his block slop actually like does stuff. Like he does he can hold out a lot and make you remove cards from your hand or this or that. And so anyways, he has a lot of control in there.
Yeah.
And he won it. And I have been playing against Icelanders this past week where their builds have adjusted. Their builds have kind of switched up, and their builds are brutal against some aggro stuff.
Yeah.
It's very different than what we're used to, right? We're used to, hey, I play something from the arsenal and then I can waning moon you.
Right.
And so a lot of those blue cards that you have in your arsenal are actually now they're more control-y and less damagey. So what they
Mm-hmm.
do is they do control on your turn, you know, brain freeze or something like that,
Yep.
and then they'll come at you for a 5 arcane on their turn.
Mm-hmm.
And so we're seeing adjustments in there that are still very brutal because most people only run AB2. Oldhim there probably ran, Oldhim could run AB3 or 4 depending on what he's building.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think we'll ever see an Oldhim run AB5. That's
I don't think so
that's a
either.
lot of cards to give. That's a
Yeah.
lot of cards to give to your sideboard. But my point being is there is all of those decks that like Icelander, for instance, still not like she's not good, but she still has game. I've still lost, to her because she happened to get the right stuff at the right time.
Yep.
Same with Kano. I've lost to Kano. Like Kano's still legit. Kano can still blow you up if you're not careful. He will
Yeah.
blow you up.
I mean, like, God, I just recently did a video. I think there's a video that's going to be posting today where I play Pleiades into Kano, and I mean, I got lucky. I shouldn't have won that game. I did the same thing with my Acilio video when I played Acilio. I shouldn't have won that game. It was a 2-turn game. I was like, I shouldn't have won, but I did. I got lucky because they drew into 4 reds, and I drew into cards that blocked out their damage. It was like, it's really, again, like, that's kind of the beauty of this, is that unlike CC, where, like, you know, you could play whatever you want, and being a specialist certainly helps, but does it get you like the immediate W at a calling? No, right? Like, eventually you are going to run into your bad matchups, and if you do, it's going to take a hit on your or bad hands, and you're gonna get hit, and it's gonna suck, and you're gonna be like, okay, cool, well, whatever. I guess that was my run, right? But some decks statistically do better, but they have a better win rate into most of the heroes. Whereas in this scenario, you have 20 more heroes in this format. I think it was like 25 or some more heroes in the Silver Age format. And some people who have just been playing since Project Blue have been playing these heroes night and day over all the time. And that's their favorite hero. They love playing Rhinar, so they're playing Rhinar. They love playing Victor, so they're playing Victor. And that's the hero they want to stick with, right? That's the hero they want to play. I have a local who's been playing Icelander a lot, and they were playing Icelander for Living Legend, really liked Icelander and Living Legend, proceeded to play the same thing in Sage, and they love Icelander and Sage, and it's to the point where he's like, I'm going to bling this whole deck out because I really like this hero. I want this hero to be my main, and I feel like she's going to do really good stuff moving into the next season, so that's where he's sticking with it. And that is what is going to allow you to have the skill set to be a better, like, just to kind of just know what you're playing into against your opponent, because you have the skill of Icelander to be like, okay, do I need to arsenal a blue card right now? Would it be more important if I arsenaled a red card and made them think I arsenaled a blue card? Because that would be different, right? And that's the kind of skill that you get when you play a hero all the time, and that one hero forever. Even in a $20 format where you can just go, okay, cool, I'll just buy into another hero because it's the better version of X or Y. You're still, just because your deck is statistically better doesn't mean that you're going to run it better, right? You still need to play the deck a ton in order for you to really get the idea of the deck. And so it's still about finding a main and being a specialist and really enjoying the decks you love. And, you know, if you're going to, we have a local who plays a lot of Max Nitro, loves Max, and was beating a bunch of chains on Max, was beating a bunch of people on Talishar on Max. But again, you know, I played into him and I beat it. But does that mean that I'm like, you know, some god gamer? No, I quite literally just drew into the good cards. They drew into blues when they needed reds, and that was the game, right? That was it. So it is, it's very important to note that, again, what we're trying to say here is play what you love, right? At some point, if you draw into good hands all the time, doesn't matter who you're playing, you're probably gonna win. If your opponent draws into good hands and you draw into good hands, it might be different depending on the matchup or depending on the, you know, who went first, yada yada. But at that point, you at least know that your hero has a shot to still do very well at an event, regardless of who they are. And that's the best part about Silver Age, right? That's where I think the 20 health format shines, is that many more heroes have a chance to do well, as opposed to CC, where a lot of heroes are like, I can't deal with 2 more turns of this.
Like, exactly. Yeah. Like Rhinar actually in Silver Age is very strong.
Very strong. Very strong.
But, you know, in CC, not so much.
Yep. It's crazy. I think it's a very fun way to go about looking at it. And again, it's going to help players look at this format and go, I do want to play this hero, whether it's aesthetically or whether it's because you like their playstyle better. Maybe you do really like Decompose, right? And you really like the concept of decomposing, but like you don't, you know, it's like, oh, well, yeah, of course, Flooring and Verdant's probably not the best versions of the decks, but I mean, like, you can still get there.
There's a Verdant's deck that, who sent it to me? Somebody sent it to me. I think it was Rabbit. One of their locals play Verdant's, and it was a crazy looking Verdant's deck that I have to try, and he's like, yeah, he wins most of the time.
I
Once
just
again,
got
one of those like weird things where you're just like, like the weapon is using her actual weapon.
Mm-hmm.
The pitch
Yep.
three, the
Staff of
amp
Verdant
one,
shoots.
like
Uh-huh.
it's actually using it. And like, who does this? I was like, someone who knows Verdants. That's who does
You're
it.
gonna have to shoot me that list too, because I have a local who's been trying to cook with Verdant shoots, and I'm just like, I don't know if you're gonna do all that, but because we have,
Yeah.
it's either that or another one of our locals, same person who's playing Icelander, played Pummel Verdants in Commoner, and is now playing Pummel Verdants in Sage, and it's such a super cool deck, and I just like, you're able to do weird stuff. Like that's the whole point of the format. You're able to do weird stuff,
Yeah.
and nobody's prepared for weird stuff. I had somebody in CC even when I went to one of my RTNs. I sat down. I played CNC against them. I had 2 float, and they had to look at me dead in the eye and go, "I don't know if you actually play Pummel." And I'm like, "Well, these invisible pummels in my deck are doing work right now because you're gonna block a lot here, and then you're just gonna take it." So it's great. Like the unknown is really something that is just like truly special about a big format like this. So
Yeah, 100%. Anyways,
um,
I know we're out of time. We chatted for a little while.
that's all
Rambled more
good.
like.
It's all good. We got the conversation going. Hopefully, you watching this, you have a. Is there a deck that you've really become a specialist on? Is there something that you've decided to break the mold with? Let me know in the comments down below. You don't have to share your deck list if you don't want to, right? Kind of deal. But just let me know what you're working with. I'd love to hear from the community talking about Sage and all that. And as always, make sure to go ahead and like the video, subscribe to the channel if you enjoy all this. Again, if you want to be a channel member and join us live, we do have that available to you every Tuesday morning, somewhere between 9 a.m. and 9:30 a.m. MST. It's right around when we go live. And then I've also now just done this because you had recommended it in the Discord. There's a link to the Discord in the description down below with viewer questions. If you wanted to, there's a channel in Fab Discussions called Viewer Questions for podcast. Go ahead, and if you have anything for us for a newer episode, go ahead and just leave it in that Discord down below in that section. I'll go ahead and pull that up during our podcast when we're doing this here, and then we'll go ahead and we'll just take those questions and take a peek and kind of go from there. But
I do want to ask you, because I know we talked about doing like a full live episode once all the cards are out. I'm looking at the calendar. February 3rd.
February 3rd.
Do a full live episode for everyone. We can talk about the pen cards because we should have them by the 31st, my understanding.
Well, and to be fair, I think I would love to do that. Unfortunately, though, I think it will we'd have to go like early. Like it'd have to be like 7 a.m. my time. Like probably to go through all of that because I do unfortunately still work on that day. So I will I will need to, more than likely, if we are going to do a full live episode, we can do that. But if we wanted to do our go live, talk about our top 10s, we can do that. That's within
that's what I want to do.
Okay.
I want to do a top 10. Let's do a full live episode for everyone. We'll do a top 10.
Cool.
Or a top 10 favorite cards on pen.
Sure. That works.
That's what we should know.
Yeah, we should know everything then.
People could get a preview of what you get when you're a channel member on a normal day.
That would be super cool. I'd be down to do it. I'd be down to make sure that we do that. February 3rd, we can pencil that in. We'll talk about our top 10 faves from pen. And then we'll kind of go from there. But anything else you want to plug, Nathan, before we get on here?
No. I know there's been a couple people that reached out to me about the recycling program. If you are interested in cards, I'm still sorting. Reach out to me. I know it's gone around. I haven't really had a chance to sit down with them. I've been very busy, holiday season, but I'm hoping to get a little bit more sorting in there. But if there are cards that you are looking for, I have a spreadsheet I can send over to you so you can keep tabs on it as I start sorting stuff.
There you go. There you go. Always good to get some stuff. Prepare yourself for pen. Prepare yourself for Sage. It's going to be a wild time. We are coming up. I mean, it feels like it's going to be tomorrow by the time that everything here is. I'll let y'all know I have not received anything from LSS regarding a spoiler. I don't know how many content creators are. Word around the street is that not a lot of people have gotten anything yet, and we are like 2 weeks out from a big reveal. So I'm very curious to see what exactly we're going to be seeing from that. But regardless, all of the commons and rares from Pen are going to be released, and be available for viewing on the 31st of January. It is currently the 13th as of the recording of this episode. So we will be patiently waiting to learn more about what happens there for Penn. Yeah, patiently. Yeah, patiently. Big quotes, huge quotes. Actually, I'm patiently being. Why don't you just give me all these cards right now so I can start deck building, please? Thank you. So, please, I can be trusted. I promise. I promise I can be trusted. But anyway, yeah, that's it. So thank you all so much for watching. I really, really appreciate it. Thank you for joining us for another episode of the Common Language Podcast. As always, as I mentioned earlier, make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel as well. And I hope you all have a wonderful rest of your day. And I hope you continue to have fun in the flesh and blood. And we will see you all on the next episode of the Common Language Podcast. Bye, everybody.
Bye.